Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is a statement from the Criminal Reform Group of Trinidad and Tobago. Our mission is to fix, fortify, and champion our criminal justice system in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, this document outlines not the measures for criminal justice reform, but it outlines an approach. Okay, so it outlines an approach that we may take in approaching the reform of the criminal justice system. And I will read from the document. The Criminal Reform Group is concerned, A, that our governments might possess neither the political will nor vision to reform or revamp the criminal justice system of Trinidad and Tobago. And B, that any reform process attempted may be piecemeal, in other words, bit by bit rather than comprehensive, deep, meaningful, progressive. And C, that the reform process will be justificatory, meaning that it tries to justify and rationalize what is already there rather than genuinely transformative. It might not include persons who are independent of the criminal justice system and lead to a rehash or justification of the old system by the same participants who may be already part of the system and the problem. So to this end, the group is advocating the following approach. There are 7 which we are advocating. 1, no piecemeal approach to reformation. The approach ought not to be solely legislative or legislative-centered. That means it ought not to be just about changing laws. The public demands comprehensive political, legislative, administrative, and financial reform of the criminal justice system. It requires an altered vision, which must be stated, affirmed, and publicized, attendant to the commencement of any reform process. Number 2, the inclusion of all the sectors of the criminal justice system. As we know, the criminal justice system is a huge and complex system, so you just can't fix 1 or 2, you have to fix the whole thing. The reform process ought to be inclusive of, but not limited to, the following: the Chief Justice, the Director of Public Prosecutions, the Attorney General, the Minister of National Security or the Ministry, the Legal Aid Department, the Law Association, the Commissioner of Prisons, the Commissioner of Police, and the Office of the President. 3, the inclusion of public peers and lay persons. It must include, as per the jury system, laymen, public peers who are able to witness, assess, and report on the process to the public. These persons ought not to be persons who are already part of the criminal justice system, but have reasonable knowledge of the workings and requirements of the system. 4, a schedule and timeline for work. This ought to be developed and agreed upon with updates and completion tracking in order to provide integrity to the process and confidence in the work of the reform process. 6, immediate and short-term measures. 5, an assessment and expediting of immediate or short-term measures, administrative, financial, legislative, political, to promptly ameliorate the system are imperative. In other words, there are problems with the system right now, and there are things which can be solved overnight. So you don't wait until the process to finish, to be completed. While you are doing the reform, you can do a lot of things in the short term, very immediate changes in policy and in actions to ameliorate the system. Number 6, the role of the public and public stakeholders. The public and media must be kept continuously informed of the work of the process by the public representatives engaged directly in the process, as well as others. That's absolutely essential. And 7, the last one, the imperative of other reform initiatives. The criminal justice system does not stand alone. It is rooted in the economy and cultural aspects of the society. and is vulnerable to pressures imposed, for example, by the competing narcotics economy. In other words, we have not really properly addressed the diversification or the alteration of the economy, and our gas economy is getting weaker and weaker. And so other forms of economies, illicit economies, might be getting stronger and have a greater hold on the criminal justice system. Political will and alacrity are required to pursue the following prison reform, constituency government reform, transport reform, education reform, and the transformation of the energy sector by shifting the energy equation. The energy equation meaning shifting that, as you go less, as you have less fossil fuels, you have more of other kinds of energy. So those are our suggested approaches. And to conclude, the Criminal Reform Group has been advocating before the offices of the President of the Republic, the Director of Public Prosecutions, the Minister of National Security, the Attorney General, the Chief Justice, the Opposition Leader, the Commissioner of Prisons, and the Parliament over the last 17 weeks. Thus far, we have had meetings with the Director of Public Prosecutions, the Commissioner of Prisons, and a representative of the Attorney General's office. We thank the public and the media for participation in the process and continue to assert that we cannot fix crime unless we fix a criminal justice system. Thanks very much.